love, you're listening to the Died on Ashanta podcast. I'm a resilience strategist and migrant integration specialist who has spent the last 20 years traveling, working, and studying throughout the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. As a globetrotter, I quickly learned how to bounce back from crisis and how to thrive in new and strange places. I've used my training and experience to develop a resilience-based framework, and now I help others to get over the hurdles that come with living in a foreign country. Now on this podcast, I invite you to join me on this journey of living with simplicity, joy, and resiliency. From green smoothies to goal setting, we'll cover it all. We'll talk about all the things that help us to thrive through the storm. Welcome to the Died on Ashanta podcast, and this is episode 7, You're a Big Deal. So of course, this week we are focusing on spiritual resilience, and at the very core of cultivating your spiritual resilience is you cultivating joy. And when we talk about you being a big deal, I'm focusing on the habit of celebrating. Not just celebrating, say, a holiday or a birthday, but celebrating you and all of who you are. The fact is that when you are in a new place, you are in a new job, you're in a new program of study, you're in a place of transition, it's very easy for you to doubt yourself, to feel discouraged, because things are difficult, things are unpredictable, and it's easy for you to feel dissatisfied because maybe you had an idea of where you should be by now or how things should have worked out, and it's not going quite exactly as planned. But it doesn't mean that things aren't going great. And so this time around, I want you to find ways to celebrate yourself, because irrespective of what may not be going right, a lot of things are going wonderfully well, but we get so caught up in focusing on the disappointments, the delays, the detours, that we completely forget to realize, acknowledge that we are a big deal and to celebrate that. So one of the easiest ways, I think, to celebrate yourself and to acknowledge the big deal that you are is by looking at your track record. When you look at someone's track record to say if they've always done X, Y, Z, then chances are they will do the same or better in the future. And that's how we make projections. That's how we build hope and not feel like we don't have to give up when we look on our track record and we make our projections. And if you haven't picked it up right now, the inspiration for the title of today's episode is that song by Christopher Martin, a Jamaican musician or singer. And the song is called You're a Big Deal. And the essence of the song is he's basically talking about complimenting yourself, identifying the things that you're great at, celebrating it, and pointing out to people with confidence that you're amazing and you're proud of what you have accomplished in life, what your track record is, whether it is that you're always getting good grades or you maintain a certain streak in a particular habit that you've been working on. And so how do you find out what makes you a big deal? Well, of course, an easy way to spot what you are a big deal about is by paying attention to the compliments that people give you. A lot of times people pay you compliments and you kind of push it aside. You say, oh no, and you make an excuse and you kind of downplay it. Don't do that. Pay attention to the compliments, and if necessary, every time someone pays you a compliment, as simple as it may be, it could be telling you that they like your smile, or your hair looks nice today, or telling you, I really like your handwriting, or that color suits you. Whatever it is that someone pays a compliment to you about, make a note of it, not just a mental note, write it down somewhere. I have a friend who keeps a kind of running sheet that she posts up on a wall in her home of all her accomplishments. And there are big, exceptional accomplishments that would end up on the front page of a newspaper. But these are things that she aimed towards and she accomplished them. And so she adds them to this list that she keeps adding things to. And whenever she's feeling a little bit discouraged, when she's feeling like she has disappointed herself or others who are looking up to her, or she doubts whether or not she can accomplish certain things that she has set before herself, she goes back to her wins list or her celebration list and she looks at all the things that she has overcome, all the things that she has accomplished, all the things she has created, and it just gives her that boost, that lift to say, you know what, you are capable, you have done amazing things in the past and you can do amazing things in the future. So keep a record of the compliments you get. One way that I remind myself that I'm a big deal is to keep a track of my habits. So there are habit trackers where you can kind of check off every day that you have followed through on a particular habit. Let's say you want to drink a certain amount of water each day, or you want to work out for a certain amount of minutes each day, or in my case, I want to practice my Japanese language skills every day. And so I use that app to remind me, to guide me through my language practice, but it also keeps a record of this habit. It keeps a track of how much time I spend each day working on my language skill, and it keeps a record of how long I've been doing it, like how many days consistently have I been doing it. And just to look at the 600 plus, I think I'm at 629 day streak that I have consistently on a daily basis practiced my Japanese language skills, it makes it almost like I don't ever want to break the streak. So I'm forced to do it every day because I want to keep adding one more. And when I look at that and they put up a little picture to celebrate your progress, I feel good about it. I say, yes, you're a big deal. This is something you have done consistently for over 600 days. And that makes me feel good about myself. It doesn't matter. I mean, no one is going to give me a certificate for it. I'm not being paid for it. No one, is asking me to do it, but it makes me feel competent. It makes me feel that I can commit to something and follow through on it, despite whatever may be going on in the world. And so keeping a track of your habits is an excellent way of reminding yourself that you're a big deal and celebrating your progress, your wins, your accomplishments. Another way to look at what makes you a big deal is by looking at a task list. If you write down a list of things that you need to get done, maybe for the day or for the week or for the month, whatever period of time, and each time you get something done, you check it off on that list. When you look back at the list, let's say at the end of the day or whatever time frame you have set to complete the task, and you look and you're like, oh my goodness, I got everything done today, or I got 5 out of 7 things done today, then you can pat yourself on the back and say, wow, you did it. You weren't, you were productive today, and you can celebrate and say, okay, now I have these other 2 things to get done tomorrow and I'll work on them, and you keep moving. Now, another way that we often overlook or don't value as much is when people tell us thanks. Usually people tell us thanks because we have helped them out with something. We have done something effortlessly that for them was a struggle, and we don't think much of it. But every time someone tells you thanks, they say thank you, stop and remind yourself that you have helped, you have done something, and many times it's something that comes easily to you. It makes no difference to you. No, you don't require any extra effort to accomplish it, but someone appreciates that. So every time you get a thank you, a compliment, you look at your task list, or you keep a track of your habits that you're building, that's an excellent way for you to track your record of wins and accomplishments and progress and celebrate who you are. One way that some people get reminded of their wins is by looking down memory lane, as my mother likes to call it. When you look in journals and you see what you had hoped and dreamed for, and you look back and say, wow, but I've accomplished all these things. These are the things that I had thought about wanting to accomplish or wanting to attain, and you have done it. Another way, sometimes Google Photos will send a notification to say, look back 6 years ago, you did this, or 8 years ago, you did that. And you're like, wow, I forgot about this event that I did, or this race that I won, or whatever it is. And you look back and you say, wow, I did it. That was amazing. Or you see a picture of the first time you made a banana cake or something, whatever the thing is that is cast back in this photo memory. And of course, there's the popular Facebook memories. Sometimes it reminds you of crazy things you wrote as your status, but sometimes it reminds you of a significant moment in your life that sometimes you don't remember until that notification pops up. So whatever means you have by keeping a record or taking check of who you are and why you deserve celebrating, please do it. And when the next time someone offers a compliment to you, all you need to do is say thank you. Don't try to downplay it. Don't excuse it. Don't try to toss back a compliment to kind of nullify what it is. Just accept it with grace and say thank you. And sit in that moment to celebrate who you are, that someone found it worth their effort to pay you a compliment. And then take it a step further to celebrate you being a big deal. Go and find someone who cares about you, someone who has told you thank you recently, or someone who has paid you a compliment recently, or celebrated a milestone with you, and share it with them. Let them know, this is a compliment I received today, or this is someone who showed me gratitude today, and have them celebrate it with you. Another great way to celebrate what a big deal you are is to get together and have an affirmation session with friends or loved ones. Sit around and spend, like, maybe have each member, depending on the size of the group, have each person tell one individual at a time what is awesome about them. And if you think about you sitting there and maybe 10 other persons telling you, each of them telling you a different reason why they appreciate you, why they admire you, why they are grateful that you're in their life, then you cannot walk away from that session without feeling like you're a big deal. So I hope that you will celebrate you sometime soon, if not today, maybe tomorrow or sometime soon. Gather your wins, look at your accomplishments, the things that you have overcome, and celebrate you, because you are a big deal and you deserve to cultivate and replenish your joy. Life can be challenging, it can be discouraging, it can be filled with disappointment after disappointment, but you don't need to lose your steam, you don't need to lose your joy. There are simple things that we can do every day to remind ourselves that we are indeed big deals. And of course, I'm not going to leave you without our proverb of the day, right? So the proverb of the day comes from Kenya, and it says, nobody can see his own goodness. It can only be seen by others. Let me repeat that. Nobody can see his own goodness. It can only be seen by others. And that's a Kenyan proverb for today. Think about that and allow others to point out the goodness in you. I hope you have a fabulous week. And as usual, I welcome your feedback and I hope to talk again with you soon. Thanks so much for listening, love. If you enjoyed this episode, head over to didanashanta.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's message. Be sure to drop your email address so I can send you some helpful resources, updates, and the occasional music video that I may have on repeat. Make sure you subscribe and spread the love with someone you care about.